I'm here to tell you right now that it's okay to not be okay. Running a startup is like chewing glass and staring into the abyss. After a while, you stop staring, but the glass chewing never ends. Elon Musk, creator of Tesla. I wanted to make this video because I don't think people talk about this enough. You know, you go on Instagram and you see all these women being girl bosses and kicking ass at what they do and making all these sales. And it's depressing. It can really get to you sometimes. You know, we're a highlight reel society. People only see what you want them to see. Nobody wants to talk about, you know, the days that they're in their bed and they haven't moved in 24 hours. Nobody wants to talk about the $0 days and wanting to throw in the towel and call it quits. Nobody wants to talk about how they haven't eaten in 12 hours because they're just stressed out about working. Nobody wants to talk about how hard it is. But everyone feels it. Everyone that I've talked to in the reseller community or just in the entrepreneur community feels the same way. So why are we not talking about it? Many of you already know that I suffer from an anxiety disorder called panic disorder. This is where I get a tingly feeling in my fingers. It shoots up my entire body. And a lot of times I can't move. My body just shuts down. My body goes into panic mode. I can't breathe. Feels like bricks are on my chest. And it can happen anytime, anywhere, with no warning at all. I remember walking down the street with my fiance. We were walking our dog, and all of a sudden, everything went black. And I just fell to my knees right in the middle of the sidewalk. And it happened without warning. I was fine. I was just walking my dog. And that's scary. It really is. Especially knowing that it can happen at any moment. Okay, so I asked some of you to share your stories with me on Instagram. The amount of messages I've gotten and the stories that have been shared with me, it's just so good to know that you're not alone. When I started this channel, I never had the intention of sharing anything about my mental illness or my depression, but I'm so glad that I did, and I'm so glad that I opened myself up and pushed myself to talk about this, because I don't think that it's talked about nearly enough. especially in this community. I'm just so thankful to all of you who have shared your stories with me and continue to share your stories with me. Thank you for being bold enough to thank you for being bold enough to tell your story, because it's not easy to admit that this is happening to you and that you're feeling this way. It's not easy to put yourself out there and be completely vulnerable with others. Adults with bipolar disorder are 33% more likely to become entrepreneurs than the general population. I spoke to one of these entrepreneurs, and here's what she had to say. A lot of people with bipolar disorder will tell you the mania can be useful, and as a budding reseller entrepreneur, this means I'll get tons of energy, brilliant ideas, and a passion for perfection. I can go non-stop for days. I'll feel empowered. Everything feels so right. But inevitably, the depression hits, and it doesn't always present itself as sadness in the classic sense. It's like hitting a brick wall. All will, drive, and motivation disappears spontaneously. I'll sleep for 18 hours. I'll neglect all self-care like showering and eating. I'll avoid or break all previous promises or engagements. It feels like I'm incapable of facing life. I'm not suicidal. I just want to disappear. So why are entrepreneurs so prone to mental health issues? According to Forbes magazine, it's the never not working mentality. We're sleep deprived, undernourished, overcaffeinated, and financially constrained, with little emphasis on self-care. But many of you, like myself, have found a safe place to exist alongside the darkness. I've struggled with depression for most of my life. I can have episodes where my body physically hurts and I'm so lethargic that it's hard to do anything at all. This has always been difficult when I'm working a job outside the home. I would usually have to call out, and then everything would just become a mess. I still get anxious and depressed, but my ability to regulate my feelings has gotten better now that I'm working for myself. I don't have to report to anyone, so that anxiety is gone. I have anxiety and depression, and it has made it hard to work a traditional job. Over the last year, I have dabbled in eBay while working in childcare. I'm just starting to get serious about reselling this month. Just the thought of going back to a normal job gives me great sadness and fear. Even if I never make a glorious income reselling, I'm okay with that because money can't buy my sanity. It's easy to go on the internet and find all kinds of tips, tricks, life hacks for managing your mental illness. But I wanted to get to the source. I wanted to talk to real people. So I took to Instagram, and here's what a few of you had to say. Amanda of Thrift and Sip is a POSHMARK reseller and a social worker. Her number one tip is to surround yourself with supportive and accepting people. And always remember, you are doing the best you can, and that is always good enough. This next tip comes from Samantha of Thrifty on a Dime. She's a POSHMARK reseller and an inspirational YouTuber. I have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, severe chronic depression, anxiety, PTSD, you name it. But I realized I was in control of where I allowed my thoughts to go. We all have bad days. It's about redirecting your mind to focus on the good and then surrounding yourself with that good. Thank you for allowing me to make this video and for allowing me to be a voice for many of you in this community. I hope this video helped at least one of you to feel like you're not alone. So I encourage you to be bold with your feelings. Put them out there. You never know who they could help, and you may just get a little help in return. Feel free to comment on this video with your stories. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be in the comments talking to you guys as well, as much as I can. But really, I just wanted to make this video to bring us together as a community and talk about this epidemic that is so strong and is often overlooked. A final thought before I go: you are loved, and your feelings matter. What you're feeling is very real, and it deserves a voice. And that was the purpose of this video, was to give a voice to those who feel like they're alone in this community. I have found that most of the reseller community feels the same way. And there are plenty of kind-hearted, wonderful people in this community that are willing to talk to you and help you with any struggles that you have. All it takes is you reaching out. So that's my encouragement to you. I encourage you guys to be bold, be brave, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to take chances. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for letting me make this video, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.